Hello and welcome to the big Arsenal discussion. I'm your host Giles, and joining me today are regular panellists Amanda from the Gooner Girls podcast, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, novelist and blogger Dave Seeger.
I'm sure writing a football book isn't a novel, to be fair.
And former editor of FHM Dan Jude. Okay, so the topic on everybody's lips, it's a bone of contention. People have been fighting about it. Is Wenger in, Wenger out, shake it all about. I'm going to start with you, Dave.
Oh, thanks.
Where do you stand on the Wenger in out debate? Should there be even a debate in your
Do I gain or lose popularity at this point?
You've got a book to sell, yeah?
No, it's not a big secret, to be honest with you. I've always been a staunch Wenger supporter, and I will support him as long as he is our manager. Were I in the position to make the decision, I would hope that he will not renew his next contract. This is the last contract for me. Maybe it's the last hurrah, maybe it isn't. I hope also that if he feels he can't take us any further, he would do the honourable thing and fall on his sword. I would have definitely thought that a few years ago. I'm not 100% convinced about that now. I think he's so passionate, maybe so blind, that he thinks he can still deliver. I am no longer convinced he can, but I will support him as long as he's a manager. I don't want him sacked, certainly, but I wouldn't be mortified should he decide to resign. Dan, is that fair?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Dan?
I mostly agree. I certainly support him while he's a manager. I don't think that he has what it takes to take this club to the next level anymore. I think that, like you said, he's too blind to the problems, he's too stubborn. I think that winning the FA Cup was a double-edged sword, and it was fantastic to get that trophy, but at the same time, the club's target for the last 5 years or more has been fourth place and a cup, and by getting that, it makes it look like we're succeeding, and we're not. And I think if we hadn't won that trophy, I suspect he wouldn't have stayed. I certainly think that he shouldn't have stayed. I think last season would have been a lovely way for him to end it. Go out on a high with a trophy, let someone new come in with some fresh thoughts and bring a bit of change to the club, because the club needs change. We've been stuck in a rut for too long. So I'm Wenger out, but I don't think he should be sacked mid-season. I think at the end of the season, take a look at it, and hopefully, if we haven't performed this year, he'll have the dignity to fall on the sword. But when you get an £8 million a year, it's not so easy.
Robbie.
I agree with these guys in that it makes no sense, and I've been saying this all along, to sack him right now. We could end up in a worse position if we sacked him right now, because I don't see available replacements that we could bring in right now. The sort of replacements I would like to see, which would be like a Pep Guardiola, Klopp, Simeone, this calibre of manager. I don't see those managers available out there at the moment.
Klopp has made some
Klopp, I don't think will leave Dortmund at the moment. Especially if you sacked Wenger tomorrow, Klopp would not come. He's very much like Wenger in that he likes to stick to his contracts. I think with Arsene Wenger, we have to give it till the end of the season. Let's see what happens at the end of the season. Did we, has he been able to turn things around? Have we seen a different Arsenal? Are we challenging at the end of the season for anything? Then, if we're not challenging, if it is the same old, then I agree with these guys. It might be time to then say, well, you know what, we need to freshen things up. It might be time for a change. But I just don't want to panic. I see you remember sackpardew.com? Remember, sometimes maybe, and I was talking to some Borussia Dortmund fans the other night before the game. I don't know if you guys saw, we did an interview with them, and I was saying to them, Klopp in, Klopp out, I asked them, right? Because they're third from bottom in the Bundesliga, and they were all like, they were looking at me like, you mad? Of course we're not getting rid of Klopp. I mean, I know he's not been there as long, but they're like, no, he's got to be given he's brought us a lot of glory over the years, we've got to give him a chance, we're going to be patient.
Recent years.
And,
He's only had one bad year.
He's had two years where he hasn't won anything, hasn't he? So, I want to wait till the end of the season, and then I'll answer that question. But if you're asking me right now to sack Arsene Wenger, I'd say no. We got to give him till the end of the season and see what happens then.
Tread water.
It's not a matter of treading. It's not a matter of treading water. It's a matter of let's see what happens. As I said, Alan Pardew.
I'll come back to you.
Sackpardew.com. Right. Where's all that gone now?
Amanda, where do you sit on the side of the fence?
Right, well, I'm not on either side, and I never have been. I'm on my side, okay? I'm not a Wenger in, I'm not a Wenger out. Well, I am now. I have to say that when I walked out of Man United, as you know, that was it for me. I have been probably 18 months on the fence. I've said if he doesn't sign what we need, I want him out, and then he signed Ozil. So, and then we had that fantastic purple patch till about December, Jan, and then the same old things happened. I agree with you. He papered over the cracks, beating Hull, and Ramsey scoring that lovely goal there. You know, we all cherish that, and that's what we always wanted. But he should have gone then. Although I didn't want him to go then. This season, I've said on our podcast many a time, because everyone asks me when I'm getting off the fence, that I'm not Wenger in or Wenger out. I'm what's best for the club. I support the club. Now, the thing that makes me laugh about a lot of people is I came out of United and I said, I'm off the fence. For me, he has to go at the end of the season. We're not progressing. We're the same old, same old. It is November. Yeah, we can talk in May. We're not going to win the league. We're going to go for fourth. We're not going to win the Champions League. So it is going to be the same old season. Never ever will I want him sacked. I want him to go with dignity and respect, and I'm disgusted at what I saw that I won't go into, and because now I'm wanting Wenger out, it seems like the Wenger out brigade are all on me going, well, you should be doing this, and no, sorry, don't want him out next week. I want him to leave with dignity in May. I want him to go. I want us to say thank you very much to one of the best managers we've ever had. I felt like this when George Graham was nearing towards the end. I wanted him gone. Unfortunately, that was a different circumstance, but yeah, I think he needs to. I've got no doubts in my mind now, because I know what's going to happen in January. He will not buy what we need. He hasn't bought what we need. He cannot take us further, and I'm sick of hearing reports of we could have had that player if it had been another 10 million. We've got the money. He's sitting in the bank. What's he doing sitting in the bank? We need it on the pitch. So I am now Arsene Wenger, I would like you to leave with dignity in May.
When you look at the papers, I mean, you've got an article here from Andy Dunn of the Daily Mirror, you know, just how much more can Wenger take. I think Henry Winter wrote in the Daily Telegraph about, you know, ignoring the obvious causes of the team's decline. Is Wenger making a powerful case for departure in the summer? We have seen him and the club take a lot of flack. You know, there's fighting on the terraces and everything. You know, I heard that you couldn't go down. You couldn't, depending on which side of the fence you sat on, you couldn't go into Arsenal Station on Saturday night.
I think that the media approach to it is nothing new. I mean, this has been going on for several years, really. You know, probably since 3-4 years after the Invincible season. I think that some of the tirades that you see on Twitter are disgusting. I think, you know, I was 11 years old when Wenger came to the club, so he's virtually all I've known as an Arsenal fan. I mean, I saw a bit of Rioch and a bit of Graham, but really my life has been Arsene Wenger, and you know, he's brought me some of the happiest days of my life and some of the happy memories. Yes, he hasn't performed over the second half of his career, but you know, to treat him with the disdain that he's getting on Twitter and on some of the Red Tops, I think is awful. I mean, you give the guy some respect.
I think the other thing is we'll never really know, will we, until he writes his autobiography, you know, what he's had to deal with. I don't think it's fair to say he hasn't performed since then. I mean, he has, under very trying circumstances. The test is now, when he has got the money, and he's not prepared to spend it. I mean, I think a more interesting question to take it to the next level is it Wenger out and upstairs, or is it Wenger out? Because I personally can't see any way, have we seen at Man United last year, I can't see any way that a new manager can succeed if Wenger is kept within the club, which I think is a bigger problem, because I cannot see any way the present board will sack Arsene Wenger. And I personally don't see any way that Arsene Wenger will go until the end of his contract. So I think next summer is not going to happen. It's going to be 2 years after that, because he will stay to the end of his contract like he has every time.
Let's suppose we look at over to the summer, or in 2.5 years' time. Who would be your choice as a replacement? Let's start with you, Amanda, and Robbie, and Dave, and end up with Dan.
I mean,
very quickly.
In dream world, I'd say Pep. Mm-hmm. Realistically, I don't know. I have to be honest.
Tony Pulis is still about. Tony Pulis.
He wouldn't have his fullbacks bombing forward.
No. You say that, right? I was listening to the radio the other day, and a Liverpool fan rung up and said that he wants Rodgers out and bring in Tony Pulis. You know what I mean? We've got to be careful here, you know? We've got to be careful.
I heard a Liverpool fan say they want Rodgers out and want Wenger. I've heard that this week.
Well, if Wenger left Arsenal, he'd be one of the most sought-after managers out there. That's the thing about it. The funny thing about it. I mean, I'm with you. If my first choice would be Pep Guardiola, whether we'd be able to attract him to Arsenal, you know, I don't know. But the reason why I'd like Pep Guardiola, because I think he would put demands on the board. I want this player. He would make
only
demands.
that, I think the structure has to be in place, because when he chose Bayern Munich, he said that he looked at Bayern Munich and everything was in place.
Yeah.
You know, he looked at Man United as apparently he's going to go there next because everything is in place. So
Yeah.
you know,
So
whether he goes there or not is another question.
Two of the players who I spoke to when I was researching my book, both independently told me that Wenger wants Pep, and he signed the contract he did to coincide with Guardiola's contract at Bayern Munich finishing. So there'll be a year overlap. So you can say, right, I'm ready to step aside now.
Yeah, but you're saying
that's Wenger's choice. That's not me.
But you're saying then we've got another 2 years of Wenger.
I believe so.
And Wenger's not. We're not sure if Wenger's going to be involved in the process. They might ask his opinion.
Well, as we have discussed earlier before we went on air, he wasn't involved in the process of recruiting Wim Jonker. So
we also might maybe a gangster manager like Simeone.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Come
wouldn't
turn
it?
things upside down, really. You know,
we've got a gangster on the board. So
Allegedly.
Dave, who'd be your choice?
No, I wouldn't go beyond Pep. But equally, this whole social media thing, and even around this table, that we had to have a big name, I also don't agree with that. You know, I mean, we didn't have a big name when we got Arsene Wenger, so who knows? And I someone like Jonker, who has all the credentials, has coached all around Europe, in Germany, with Bayern Munich, in Spain with Barcelona. I'm not saying him, but I'm saying someone like him.
With Bergkamp.
The other one I would go for would be De Boer with Bergkamp. Yeah, I mean that would be a logical one. Well, style of football, certainly.
Dan, let's wrap it up with you. Who would be your choice going forward?
I don't think we'll get a big mate. I don't think we'll get a Guardiola or a Mourinho or a De Boer. I think.
Please don't say Mourinho.
You'd take Mourinho though.
No, I wouldn't.
I certainly would. I hate the man, but he'd bring us trophies. I would. Beyond Guardiola, I'd be looking at potentially someone like a Koeman. I think he's done a great job. I want to see how he performs over the next couple of years.
No one here's mentioned Martinez.
Got Wigan relegated. I mean, he's a small club manager. I don't know if he could. I think it would be a repeat of Moyes.
Well, for consistency of a manager who doesn't know how to make a team defend, I guess, if you want consistency.
All right. What do you think? Do you think Wenger should go? Do you think he should stay? If he goes, you want him going in the summer? Now, who would be your replacement? Leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.
Want to get something for your Gooner boyfriend or Gooner girlfriend or Gooner kids this Christmas? Then check out AFTVstore.com for all the latest. You can get t-shirts like this, Arsenal Rocks. You can get t-shirts like the latest Alexis Sanchez one. Listen, it's all there at the store. Make sure you check it out for that original gift for your Gooner person. AFTVstore.com. Merry Christmas from everybody here at Arsenal Fan TV.